I'm looking at an 8-unit apartment that has been badly managed. Quite frankly, it's in a distressed area in Denver and there's no comps to look at all. How can I get a pro forma? The current owner lists the details of expenses and income related to the property out on physical paper. Without a true pro forma, what information will help me calculate the expected return on investment? Do you have a list, Cherif? What considerations should I make when looking at a multi-unit project?
It doesn't matter the comps when it comes to this. The key thing is to understand the market in terms of, if you get that apartment building, will you be able to rent it? Or is there an upside with the rent? Will that upside be executed? Like a lot of people say, oh, they're renting at 600, but I can get 750. Well, how are you sure you're going to get 750? Maybe these people will leave. You'll end up with an empty place. You can't even make the payments because the bank is going to ask you, what is it that you want to do with it? So the key thing here is you need to understand the numbers of what you're getting into. And I am going to actually show you something here. Let me see. Now, I'm not big on software and all this, but I'll show you 2 Excel sheets. Let me see if I have them here. Okay, so here is an Excel sheet I'm going to show you. This is a simple one. And there is one that's used for underwriting. Okay, so here is an Excel sheet that actually you can plug in the numbers. I use it sometimes for residential. It's not the main one I use, but it's like, so you're going to put the list price, when it was the list date, how long it's set on the market, and all this, and then how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. You can use it for a single family home and see what repairs it will need and all this, and then work pro forma and what your target is and all this. Also, there is another one that, so it's got all the numbers plugged in. Okay, this one is a bigger one. Those of you who like these reports, I think you'll enjoy this one because it really has a lot of data. And I didn't create this. I don't take credit for it. And I don't remember where I got it from. I think from an underwriter. And I asked them what they use, and I saved it. And you could see Home Investment Partnership Program, the multifamily underwriting template for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Office of Community Planning Development. I mean, this is, government. What do governments do? They do paperwork. They're the best with paperwork. This happens, form this, form that. Okay, so this is, you're going to put a project information, and then it explains notes on key home requirements on this template. And then you could see every cell, the role of home funds in a development project. It explains a lot of things. Okay, then you're going to see requirements. What are they requiring? Certain things. You can plug in numbers. Okay, for rent, utility allowance, etc. The rents and income on the property, on a specific property. Development cost, if you're doing the development, so you can't miss anything. So we're going to send you this one also. If you can put it on the site or send it to everybody. Ashley, I sent it to you yesterday, and it is exactly as is. It's very interesting, and it just spells out a lot of things, especially if you're doing developments or something like this. You can't miss a thing. So I think between these 2 Excel sheets, you will be able to identify a lot of issues. This one involves so much work. I can tell you that the basic calculation I do is the following, because I like simplicity. If the end goal is simplicity, we begin with simplicity. I look at the revenue, and if it's true. So there is 50 units, and there are 10 vacancies, and there is 40, half of them 2 bedrooms, and 25% or 1 bedroom, 25% 3 bedroom. What are we getting? What's the market getting? Okay, if you can't compare it to the market, then let me see how long they have been there. I have asked sellers of apartment buildings, can I talk to some of the tenants? Can I just talk to a couple of these people? Can you show me if there have been any maintenance work? And then you can see if there are leaks all over the place with water issues, or the water keeps shutting down because the water department there are some issues there. So we need to do good due diligence. Don't think you need to do too much. You hire companies that do it. And that's why a lot of these are done by real estate fund managers. That's why we train people to do funds and set them up with syndications and funds, because when you're going to do a bigger deal and you have more money, you're going to do bigger due diligence. It's going to cost you some money. So you need to know what you're doing. And if you spend the money when you have a real estate fund, you're going to raise the money to buy the property, and you're going to raise money, what's called organization fees. So actually the fund itself, the investors pay you for the money you put in to set it up, including what you pay us to set it up for you. We do 25,000 to 30,000 set up the fund, including the setup and all this. But you get it refunded from the investors when you raise the capital, if that's what you want to do, and any due diligence you spend. So I look at the revenue, number one. Number two, all the expenses. You're going to see on the two sheets the expenses. You can't miss it. You know, what are the property taxes? What's the property insurance? What's the history on the property insurance? Has the property had any killing, any shooting, any fires, etc.? You're going to get the property inspected, the foundations, the roof, the electric, and the plumbing. And you're going to actually make sure that common area maintenance is paid, that there is a vacancy factor, that there is a management fee for the team, because you are going to be able to include all these fees in the cost of the operation, because you're not going to run it like a mom and pop. You're not going to be running around managing properties. You should use your highest and best use, which is really highest and best use of a person is two things: raising capital, getting deals. Raising capital, getting deals. I don't fix the properties in San Francisco. I'm in Los Angeles. I was there last week. I toured the properties, thanked everybody because they know what they're doing. We're moving forward. I talked to the broker listing a property, and I came back. I'm not going to be painting walls. I'm not good at it. Plus the fumes can make me very excited, and then I buy more properties than I should. But anyway, so you understand the idea of the property. What's the revenue? What are the expenses? Now I'm talking apartment buildings because the person is saying 8 units. If we're talking about retail, I'm going to look at what are the comparable rents, what's the traffic, and what's the driver of the traffic. Like I was looking at a property here, a single tenant building, and it was right next to Chipotle. And what I noticed is there is LA Fitness, and my kids like to exercise there. My son now beats me arm wrestling, which is very frustrating. So I need to work out a little bit more because Daddy needs to keep his place in the power, physical power. And so I went to pick him up. I should have been exercising. I went to pick him up. So I was waiting. I'm looking at this Chipotle, like the traffic. And what's the driver of the traffic? It was two things: LA Fitness on one side, and there is a huge office building the other side. I mean, the lines on the Chipotle, and this is, you know, I'm in the business, so I'm constantly looking. I'm not daydreaming. And right next door is empty. So I've called the broker, and we're going to tour it. We're going to see if we're going to tour it maybe tomorrow. But I realized the driver of the traffic is there and is constant, and it's a busy street on Ventura Boulevard. So once you understand the driver, like in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, the driver of the traffic is the tourism. It's number one visited area. It's the cruise ships and the local clientele. The local people love to spend the weekends there. I sell out on Airbnb and the hotel we have there on the weekends. Understand the drivers of the traffic.